Near the peak of the Clone Wars, Jedi Generals Plo Koon and Kit Fisto were sent on a mission together to take control of the horrendous Embadi prison deep in the Outer Rim after a riot had begun among the prisoners. The Embadi prison held some of the Republic's most disgraceful and dangerous criminals, each charged with horrible crimes. Once inside, Kit Fisto and Plo Koon got into a heated argument about whether to kill the prisoners who were a threat or to simply knock them out and use non-deadly tactics. So I'm going to break down the time Plo Koon and Kit Fisto attempted to stop a prison riot at one of the galaxy's most horrific prisons. The story begins deep in the Outer Rim on the watery world of Embadi, where the Republic has constructed a giant underwater prison complex for some of the galaxy's worst scum and villainy. Jedi Generals Plo Koon and Kit Fisto have been dispatched to the location to take control of the facility because the local clone security forces and management were unable to prevent the riot from beginning or stop it once it began. Once inside, the two Jedi were greeted by large angry brutes of many species, each roaring at each other in anger and attempting to kill anyone who even dared to look in their direction. And I just have to say, the officers managing this prison have not done the best job, as many of the prisoners have somehow snuck cutting knives and other weapons into one of the Republic's most highly secured prisons. Someone is definitely getting fired for this. Following that, Kit Fisto steps through the main entrance to the prisoner area and firmly places his hand out in front of him, demanding that the inmates drop their weapons immediately. This does catch the vile criminal's attention for a few moments, but as you would expect, the moment the prisoners realize that he is a Jedi, they turn all of their attention on him and begin swarming him. Fisto rapidly ignites his green lightsaber, but he is far too late as one of the muscled up prisoners leaps into the air before violently throwing him to the ground and tightly grabbing him by the neck. As the prisoner is attempting to kill Fisto, however, a hooded figure approaches rapidly, slamming him into a nearby wall and saving Kit Fisto's life. It is of course Plo Koon. Plo Koon tells Fisto that his Jedi mind powers need work, but Fisto responds, telling him that it is their responsibility to end the riot without violence, if possible. As the two continue to watch over the raging riots, the glass outer walls of the facility begin to crack badly, allowing huge torrents of water to enter. Sooner or later, the place is going to flood. Plo Koon, however, has no interest in ending the riots without violence, instead swinging his lightsaber through the air, chopping the limbs of the prisoners clean off and destroying their weapons in the process. As he does this, the Kel Dor Jedi Master proclaims that violence is all these inmates know. We should take them out quickly. Kit Fisto is worried by this, frantically asking his fellow Jedi not to kill anyone, but Plo Koon is so confident in his abilities that he says he won't need to. Fisto is very happy with this, and as he swings his green blade through the air, he tells Plo Koon that they came here to stop a prison riot, not to execute prisoners. The two continue weaving their lightsabers through the criminals, careful not to kill them, but very precise in disarming them. Plo then asks his fellow Jedi why such concern for these criminals. As more of the inmates are brought to the ground, Fisto responds saying, "I just believe in second chances," before he force pushes two incoming prisoners away, with one of them even wielding a massive blade. Plo Koon doesn't agree at all with Fisto about second chances for these degenerate prisoners, responding by saying, "Scum like this can't be rehabilitated," before walking up to one of them and forcefully slamming his head against the prisoner's face. Before he can even feel the pain of this move, however, the thick, glass outer walls of the prison complex begin to crack even further, allowing the water inside to begin rising very quickly, putting every single soul inside of the prison in extreme danger. But let me know what you believe down in the comments. Do you agree with Kit Fisto's point of view that an enemy should never be killed? Or do you agree with Plo Koon that they can never be redeemed and should be killed if they pose a threat? Interesting question, so let me know. After this, the two Jedi go even further into their argument, with Fisto asking Plo if he sees everyone in a very black and white way, either a hero or a villain. Plo Koon, however, says, "Not quite. I also see the innocent victims of monsters like him," before pointing over at a savage, two-headed, red-skinned beast rushing towards them with weapons in hand. The two Jedi demand that the vicious beast drop his weapon immediately, but interestingly, one of the men inside of this two-person body puts his hands up, but the other raises his blaster, ready to kill the Jedi. The one who raises his weapons shouts out in a rage, saying they'll have to take my head first. Plo Koon is happy to take this opportunity, igniting his lightsaber before rushing towards the two-headed abomination and using his rapid reflexes to deflect the two blaster bolts. Plo is only seconds away from taking the hostile head off of the creature and sparing the innocent head, but before he can do this, in a rapid motion, Kit Fisto pushes the whole creature away, warning Plo that if he kills one head, they'll both die. Immediately after this, he also adds, Fortunately, there are other ways to subdue our enemies, before slamming his green fist straight into one of the creature's heads, turning his vision black, and probably breaking his nose. Following this, Plo Koon is pleased that his fellow master could deal with the prisoner, but is also annoyed at just how slow his method is, reminding Kit Fisto that they still have 300 prisoners to recapture. As their heated argument continues, Fisto senses something far more dangerous in the area, more menacing than any of the prisoners. Plo Koon once again brushes his fellow Jedi off, saying, "I'll trust what I can see over your intuition," as he rushes up to two prisoners and crushes their heads together, knocking them out instantly. As he is doing this, however, Kit Fisto shouts a warning across the room to Plo Koon, urgently telling him to watch out as two blazing rockets rush through the air towards him. The rockets eventually impact in a fiery blaze, sending Fisto to the ground, and the water is now pouring into the area at a rapid pace. As Fisto looks up, he sees the feared bounty hunter, Dirge, who arrogantly tells him that he started the prison riot to lure the two Jedi Masters across the galaxy into his little trap. Kit Fisto then enters combat with Dirge and is not in a great spot, but his fellow master leaps into the area, cleanly slicing Dirge's arm off. And if you know anything about Dirge, this will not be stopping him from continuing his rampage. The two Jedi rush at Dirge with immense force, but he has no trouble repelling them, slamming them into the nearby rock faces, badly hurting the two Jedi. Out of nowhere, however, a scorching blaster bolt illuminates the area, going straight through Dirge's chest, throwing him straight to the ground before a massive blast rips through the ceiling. At this point, Dirge knows he's in deep trouble, and the two Jedi Masters are absolutely shocked at what they see. The two-headed beast from earlier has returned to help them escape, and this time, both heads of the creature are in agreement about helping the Jedi. Kit Fisto and Plo Koon then begin to help the two climb out, up onto a nearby rock face, but as soon as they plant their feet firmly down, Dirge's huge grip comes up from the cavern below, gripping their necks and beginning to choke them out. Luckily, Kit Fisto is able to free them, but Dirge shouts that he's not done with the Jedi yet. Unfortunately for him, Plo Koon is able to use a huge boulder to plug the gap, holding Dirge off and allowing them to make an escape. Fisto then asks what they should do with the prisoners, and awesomely, Plo Koon has changed his mindset from earlier, agreeing to trust in his fellow Jedi's instincts. Fisto, being the man who fully supports second chances, agrees to take the two-headed creature with them and asks them to watch his back. And to end the story, Fisto offers to take some time off of their long prison stays for their good behavior during the riot and helping the Jedi to escape. Nice end to the story and good redemption for the two-headed men. And let me know if you want to hear more about this horrible prison, as Anakin Skywalker and his apprentice Ahsoka Tano also had some massive adventures here earlier in the war. So if you want to know what they got up to, just let me know down below and I'll cover that comic. So that is how Kit Fisto and Plo Koon got involved in a massive prison riot at one of the galaxy's most horrendous prisons. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.